Hi, I'm Carno. Can I show you something? Just real quick. There's this wonderful little video I just saw a little bit ago, a minute and 5 seconds long. But you'll notice it's got this auto-dubbed feature on YouTube, and here it is again listed, auto-dubbed. And I've heard of this feature. I have not yet a single time come across it myself. This was the first time I've ever seen it, and I went and was watching this video. It was just randomly recommended to me. I was on YouTube watching, just whatever videos. I love the game Peak. I saw this animation. It looked really good, and indeed, it's really, really well animated. But I just want you to listen for a second, and please, to the creator, Pamont, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I mean no harm by doing this video. I'm not trying to steal your content or anything. I'll only play a little bit, but I just want to show you guys um, what's going on with the audio here. It's a little odd. It's already like a little compressed, you can hear, but now, oh, I know this audio, right?
Everything that praises the Lord.
Wait, what?
Christ with the best of deport.
I'm sorry, I played more of the video than I meant to. That's not really what the creator meant to do, I don't think that was their intention. Also, that wasn't another language. That was English. That was a song in English, but it auto-dubbed with the TikTok voice into English. Now you'll see that I can go here to the audio track. Now, luckily, there is a way to turn it off. I can go to Brazilian Portuguese, which is the original, and then suddenly the audio not compressed anymore, and now like the audio is just fine. No issues at all. But here at the end, a lovely little message from the animator. Just, a cute little thing. Again, I really don't mean to play so much of the video, but I'm trying to illustrate the point here.
Thank you so much for watching this far. This animation took me a little while, so if you liked it, that already helps a lot. And subscribe to see more animations like this.
Okay, I could see the auto dubbing being useful for this kind of thing, but I feel like it's, and I mean this in the nicest way possible. I feel
Muito
like
obrigada por terem
it's
assistido
way
até aqui.
cuter
Essa animação me tomou um pouquinho de tempo. Então, se gostou aqui,
with the
like te ajuda demais.
original audio. Maybe this is a subs versus dubs kind of thing. If you like your anime dubbed versus subbed, I understand. I get it. And in the same way, if you don't like reading subtitles all that much, you want to watch the little
Mas,
animatic animation of the the cartoon here, I get that. I understand. But I feel like there's a little bit of heart missing, a little bit of soul that goes away. And the I'm sorry. I'm a music nerd. I hesitate to use the term audiophile, but when I hear really poorly compressed audio and it's not used intentionally as like a meme kind of thing,
to see more animations like this, and tell me about the ugliest fall that happened to you or your friends
this
in the
sonically
rush. I'd
sounds
love to hear about it.
very bad. It sounds like I have a really low quality microphone and I put 100 filters on it to make it sound better, And when it gets to the music part, I mean, that just, it's not the same. And then you get the dubbing of the
This the Lord. Everything that praises the Lord.
I don't get it. Why is this necessary? It just kind of ruins it. I'm 27 years old. I'm not going to hide that or anything. I've been on the internet for a little while, longer than some, shorter than others. I've seen videos in Spanish that I still find funny. I've seen videos in German and, Japanese and whatever else. I watch anime. I think we're okay with a little bit of cultural exchange. Is the auto dubbing necessary? And, I was starting to write up a little comment talking about this just to let the creator know. And I don't know if I'll post it after this. I just there's nobody talking about this. Like maybe if I really scroll down, maybe if I look for more. But I mean, a lot of them are in Portuguese, so I don't even know. I could translate, which is I think a fine feature for the record. It's a similar idea, but I think it's a fine feature. Look, oh, now I know what this says. Um, and this is an incredible animation. I want to say, it really is beautiful. I love the game Peak. I played it so much before the Mesa update. I got all of the achievements and the gold sash and everything. And I really need to go play more. But I can't I can't get over this. I don't know. Um, maybe, and I'm willing to contend this. I'm fully willing to be honest about this. Maybe the animator was okay with this. Maybe the animator saw what it would look like with the auto dubbing turned on, and they said it was okay. And I can't fault them for that. Or maybe they were unaware, and that's I think what I'm worried about. If they were unaware, and then it does this and kind of takes away from the quality, I feel like that's unfair for them. If they don't know. And so I felt like I had to record this. I don't make this kind of video, but I really felt it necessary to just record this and just I don't know, put this out there. It's just weird, right? It's just weird. And I don't like it, but and it's a shame because I think it's ruining my first impression of what is otherwise a really nice little video. I don't want the audio to be in English. Like, okay, if it's a big content farm channel or it's Mr. Beast or whatever, I understand they probably don't care about the quality of the audio. They just want as many people to hear it in their language as possible. But I also get the idea from maybe a video essay perspective, having the auto dub come in and make your work more accessible to people in another language. I understand that. I truly understand that thinking. But for a 1 minute video of a wonderful little animation of a game that, you know, thousands of people have been playing, you know, I don't think you need to dub anything. And in fact, look at this at the end here. Subtitles. Again, it's accessible. The animator did this. The animator did all of the work they needed to. And I'm just curious if they even meant to turn auto dubbed on. And I looked it up, and I believe a lot of these settings for auto dub are actually automatic, and you have to turn them off. Now, I could be wrong or mistaken, um, and I'm sorry about that. But it seems a little silly to put out this feature that degrades the quality of the content for accessibility reasons, but accessibility that is not even being reached because it's supposed to make it more accessible for me, but if I weren't as understanding of a person or aware of what auto dubbing is, and I were to just watch this in English, as I do with most videos, I would watch this with the same state of mind that I did initially, which where I didn't immediately know it was auto dubbing. I was like, why are they editing the audio to sound like this? Why are they trying to avoid content ID? But why would they even do the trend of using this audio from TikTok in the first place? It didn't make any sense to me. And it really sucked because again, this is such wonderful, I mean, just beautiful animation. It's so good. I mean, granted, it's like 20 seconds of animation, but that's not an easy task, you know. And it's a fun little thing. It's just a fun little project, and it's very cute, and I love it. And when I watched it for the second time in Brazilian Portuguese, I went, "Wow, this is so much better. This is wonderful. I like this so much." Um, but it was just a little frustrating that I had to, change that. Now, luckily, it is just a few clicks. It is just a few clicks. You know, you just go to the settings thing, you change it here. It's not that big of a deal. But first impressions are pretty important, and it just looks worse in that regard. And this is not me saying anything about Palmont. Palmont. I'm really sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Please, give this creator all the love in the world. Their third video ever on YouTube. This is what I'm concerned of. Well, okay, maybe they have a few shorts. Okay, they have a few more shorts. But what I'm concerned of is maybe they didn't realize what this was. Maybe they thought, oh, auto dubbing, that might make it more popular. I understand that. Yeah, 10 videos on the channel, and maybe some repeats for shorts. You know how it goes. I get that. Maybe they just saw it as an accessibility feature. I totally understand. I really totally understand that. Or maybe they didn't even realize it. But I would say if you are considering using the auto dub feature, try to consider the content you make and how it could be perceived, because that is what we were watching. This compressed audio that then gets
Everything that praises the Lord.
it sounds like we're talking through a bucket. It sounds like we're talking on the phone. We're talking to somebody on the phone while our phone is underneath a bucket and echoing through. It's really bad. The audio is not good, and it's the thing that some people really dislike, the TikTok voiceovers, the text to speech voices. It's just weird. I don't know why this is here. I don't know. I'm not really sure what the conclusion should be. I guess I'm just cautioning against using it for everything. I think for something like this, you don't need it. You don't need it for this little thing here. And again, I don't know if the creator even meant to have auto dubbing turned on, but I would just say you don't need it. You don't need auto dubbing for a small little cute thing like this. If I want to know what your characters are saying, you can give them subtitles, or you could even not even subtitle it. You could leave it in the original language, no subtitles, no nothing, and people in the comments will translate. That has been the experience for years of what's been going on. And I think that's a much better cultural exchange than sacrificing your artistic vision with some weird AI tools. And maybe, some people wouldn't classify this as AI. I understand that. But it's in the same realm, right? Um, I would just say, maybe caution against that. Now, on the other hand, if it's maybe a podcast or some long form content like a video essay, I can see that. I can see that being a possibility of having a nice long script being automatically translated. I get that. I can understand that. I think a lot of content creators who make that kind of thing could find use in the auto dubbing feature. But I think if you have a very specific artistic vision for what you're trying to create, I would caution against this. I'll say that's about it. Sorry, I don't know why I wanted to go on such a tangent about this, and I'm not gonna edit this video. I think I've said everything. I probably talked in circles a little too much. Um, Sorry about that. No script or anything. I don't know. I don't think I want to make another video like this. Again, I don't want to make it seem like I'm complaining about the creator. The creator did a wonderful job with this cartoon. This is more a critique of YouTube on their side of kind of pushing a feature upon creators that doesn't a feature that doesn't really need to be used by everyone. Yeah. Anyway. All right. I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching.